Morning, guys. So this is a new series of tutorials that we're going to begin. We're just calling this one Project 1. So this whole series will be called Learn Fusion 360. And we're starting at Project 1, and there'll be about 19 more-ish video tutorials that walk you through this series. This part we're calling the Fixture, and so we're just going to get right into it. So this video is going to walk you through how to do it, what to turn in, all that good stuff. This is what your assignment will look like roughly. And when you click on this picture, and we'll come back to this often, we'll use this as a reference to make our drawing, obviously. So we have all our dimensions here. For looking at this in the isometric view right here. That would make this the front view and this the top view. And in their estimation, they were able to give you an accurate kind of guide to what this part is without needing the right side view. They have all their dimensions in here, and so we'll kind of go from that. Name of the part's Fixture, we'll use that. Units is inches, we'll use that. And materials, we'll learn how to use that. We haven't done that yet. So I've already opened up my Fusion. If you have not done so yet, please do that. And I'm going to try to get organized for this and have you guys do the same along with me. So we've already got projects going, so you don't have to create a new project, but I would recommend maybe creating a new folder. And I already did that, so I clicked on New Folder, and then you get this option right here. Now, I don't really need that, so I'm going to get rid of it. When I created my new folder, I titled it right here, Learn Fusion 360 Projects 1 through 20. And I double-click that, and mine's empty right now. And we'll start saving in this and building from here, and this is where I'm going to keep everything. And so right now this says Untitled, right? First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and title this and save it right now. So I'm going to call it Project 1, Fixture, and Grady. And that should pop up right over here. And then I can just keep updating it as I continue drawing. So let's head back to this and take a look here. What you have to ask yourself is, in which view am I going to start drawing this? Right? Which plane? And which shape is going to give me the most information, make this the easiest to do? And so to me, if I'm looking at this top view, yeah, it helps. But really in this front view, this L right here is probably what gives me the most indication about this part. And so my goal is going to be to draw this L, extrude it out that way, and then add this angle support in there later along with the hole. And so this is really what I need right here. And it's 4 down, 5 over, 0.75, and we'll draw this in two different ways to kind of get through this, give you a couple different options. So first of all, we know that we need to create a new sketch and we want it in the front plane. So let's go ahead and click on that one right there, and it takes me over to the front. This is a good time to check my document settings, make sure I'm in inches. You can open that up if you want to see the top, front, all that kind of good stuff. Here's my planes, you know, what you're drawing in, and things like that. Sketches, I've now created my first sketch. And so what we're going to do for the origin is I'm going to make this corner on the origin point, okay? And I'm going to go down here, all that good stuff. So here's one way to do that. So just grab a line, to start in the center, and to drag it out anywhere. Just making sure that I get this symbol right here, that flat symbol. What that means is horizontal. And then I want this one square to that. Come back, up, and now this one I want to make sure it's right over top of this. So I'm just hovering, I'm not clicking on the origin yet. Hovering to kind of wake that up, clicking there, and clicking there. And so we want to then kind of start dimensioning this. Right now, when it's blue like this, it means that your lines are undefined. And so if I hit escape on my keyboard and get to this arrow, everything can be moved, right? I can't move much of this because I'm stuck in my 90 degrees the way I want to be. But you can see that everything is pretty flexible still. So we're going to start hitting D on our keyboard, and it gets to this dimension tool. And I've already had some stuff selected. let's start right here. We want this to be 5. Enter. This to be 4. Enter. And so my height's 4, my kind of width there is 5. And then this would be 0.75, right? And it only gives this one dimension saying that it needs to be the same, right? So from here to here is 0.75, and that means that since they don't give you this one, this also needs to be 0.75. And so really I want this line and this line to be equal. So we're going to try a different constraint tool that you guys maybe have not used yet. So I'm going to hit equal, and I want this line and this line. You can see that equal sign pop up. That means that those are going to stay the same. And so if I were to change this, let's say I wanted to go to 0.25, you can see that it changes this one too. And so that's the beauty of the equal constraint. And now, just by locking this in there, everything turned black on me, and everything's locked in. I can't move anything. So that means that everything in this sketch is fully defined, which is exactly how we want it to be. And so we're going to finish this sketch, go to a home view, and now we're going to see how far do I pull this across, right? And so I go 5 inches back. And so we'll hit extrude, which is E on the keyboard. It automatically selects the surface because there's only one profile, right? And I want to kind of show it which direction I want to go, so I need to hit -5, and then I'm going to hit enter. And now I've got the start of this fixture, right? I've got this as an L if you can ignore the circle and this fin going through here, this angle support. And so let's go ahead and draw that now. And you can see back here in this view, they don't give us how thick this is, right? And so what that means is if that dimension's not given, it's going to be this. It's going to be the same as everything else. So this is going to be 0.75, and it just goes from this front edge to this top edge on kind of the back side of my part. So what we're going to do now is you can push shift on the keyboard and push in on the scroll wheel, and it will allow me to orbit to the back. That's one way to do it. I could also just kind of click on my orbiting cube up here, and that will work for us for now. And then what we want to do is we're going to create a new sketch, and we want it to be right on this surface. Right? And it whips me around, and I should be in the back view now. And very easily, all we have to do is we want to click on that point and that point. And this should turn shaded, like a little light blue here, like it is there. Finish sketch. Let's go back to our home, and now we want to do some extruding. We want this triangle, and we are going to bring it forward this time. Okay, and we want that to be -0.75, and it should join, right? All this can stay the same. And I hit OK, and now you can see that we're starting to look, pretty similar to this. And if you want to, now's not a bad time to save. We'll just call it midway through. You don't have to. You don't have to title it anything if you don't want to when you save. But you can see it updates with what my part looks like, just to make sure nothing happens to it. So now we still have two things that we have to add. We have to add this hole and this curve at the front here. So let's do the hole first. And it's 2 inches in, 2 inches in from this corner. But I guess the thing that I would warn you about is that eventually we're going to get rid of this corner. So we're not going to want a dimension to the corner. We want a dimension from this line and this line, not the actual corner point, because we're going to lose that, right? And then our hole, does it say where the hole measurement is? It does not. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to go back to the video that I've created these from, and we're going to figure that out. I went ahead and replaced this drawing, so you guys hopefully will never even, when you open up this image, it'll show this right off the bat. So we've got this fixed now, and it's saying that that is a 1-inch diameter hole. Okay, so let's go back to our part here. Hold on just a second. There we go. All right, and probably the easiest way to do that now is to create a new sketch on here. So we're going to hit Create Sketch on this surface, And we know that we're going to need a circle, a center point circle. For now, I'm just going to kind of put that in anywhere. And I'm going to hit 1 and enter. Okay, and now we can get our dimension tool. So I'm going to hit D on the keyboard. And here's what I was talking about. You could dimension to this point. But then, once we make this radius here and round this off, you're going to lose this point. And so what we want to do is actually dimension from here to here. Bring it down. And we know we want that to be 2 and enter. And then from here to here, the line, not the point, 2 and enter. And then we've got that where we want it. So we have those 2 dimensions on there. And the whole circle right here. So I could also add this radius right now by using this fillet tool, and then I could extrude that down through there. But we're going to do that a different way. And so we're going to hit Finish Sketch. Obviously that one stayed visible for us, which is good. And we want to extrude this hole now. I'm just going to steer it down, and instead of distance, I'm going to put through all. And I'm cutting it out, which is what I want to do. I'm going to hit OK. And now our hole is there. And now let's go ahead and add this little radius, which is a 0.5 radius. They call that a fillet on this front corner. Like I said, we could have done that on that sketch. We could have gone back to, oh, not this one. We could have gone back to sketch 3 here. And I could have added a fillet here and then extruded that out. That would have been a fine way to go. But once you're in the solid tools here, once you've got things extruded, there's also this fillet tool here that I think makes things very easy. So when you click that, this little window will pop up, and the first thing it says is, okay, which edges, faces, features do you want to fillet? And we want to fillet this little edge right here, right? And I'm just going to drag it in so that I know what I want it to look like. And then at that point, I'm going to type 0.5 for that radius, 0.5, and that looks right. Leave all that other stuff alone. I'm going to hit OK. And now you can see that your part is complete, right? We have that drawing now done. So, and again, you don't have to do this if you don't want. I just like to do it to stay organized. The only thing we need to do is assign materials steel before we turn it in. So what we're going to do now, with all this kind of showing, let's hit this arrow for bodies. And we've only got one body, which is this whole part. We're going to right click on body, and then what we want to do is we want to assign it a physical material. So I right clicked it, then I left clicked on physical material, and I'll move my face out of the way. We've got some options over here. This is all your options. This is probably what it looks like for you when you first open it. If this does not look like this, maybe change the library, see if you can get it like that. And then what we want to do is we're going to click on metal, and that brings down a whole big folder of a whole bunch of metals. And we want just normal, plain old steel. So we're going to go through the stainless right there. Okay? And then what we're going to do is got my little hand shows up, right? I'm going to hold it with a left click. I'm going to drag it onto my object. Then I'm going to release. And now this has been turned into steel. We've assigned it a physical material. And to check to see that we did that correctly, we go back here and we right click it. And then we're going to open up our properties window. And in this properties window, we see now that the physical material is steel. Great. And we've got some other things going on. We see the area, density, mass, all that can now be calculated by giving it this physical material. And so this is what you're going to turn in. I just clicked off of this object so that it wasn't blue. It doesn't matter if you leave it blue, that's okay. But then we're going to go back to our snipping tool. And so if yours isn't pinned to your taskbar, you can go down here and open up your snipping tool that way. And we want to create a new screenshot. And so I'm going to do the full screen here. And then we go File, Save As. And let's put it in our downloads. And this was called Learn Fusion 360 Project 1. Oops. Fixture Grady. You can title it something else, but I do recommend starting, we're going to do 20 of these ones. I do recommend starting to, label these something that you can stay organized with. Right? And so I'm going to save that to my downloads, and I can close out my snipping tool. And now I'm back just here, but then you can go back to your classroom assignment, and you can attach that screenshot you just took to turn this in. All right, thank you.